So we're created in his image. We are created to be workers, to be a creative people. So how should we work? What does Proverbs tell us about how we should work? The first one is we ought to work with diligence. Diligence. Well, what does that mean? It means that we need to give 100% our best effort into our work. We need to be diligent workers. So when we come to Proverbs, we just read in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11, we encounter this character who's kind of like a comedic and tragic character all at once. And he is called the sluggard. Okay, what are the characteristics of the sluggard? We see that the sluggard is someone who is unmotivated, doesn't take initiative, and is habitually procrastinating. He or she can't get out of bed. The sluggard fails to start. The lazy person fails to start. And if you can't even get started, how are you going to accomplish anything? The sluggard has a failure to launch. He can't get started. Second characteristic of the sluggard is that he fails to complete. So he has trouble getting started. Then he finally gets himself out of bed and he gets started, but he doesn't finish the projects he starts. He doesn't finish the tasks he starts. He's got one project or another left undone. Thirdly, they are addicted to comfort. Addicted to comfort. Listen to what it says in Proverbs 21:25. The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. The desire of the sluggard. What it means is the sluggard is addicted to his fleshly desires, his desire for comfort and pleasure. And because he doesn't want to be uncomfortable, he doesn't work. Because how many of you know work is not comfortable most of the time? And so he is addicted to comfort. That's why he can't get out of bed. Why do we struggle with getting out of bed? Because our bed is comfortable. And then the last characteristic of the sluggard is that the sluggard also fears work. Here's what the sluggard or the lazy person does. He's getting up and he's getting ready to go out to work, but then he says, oh no, there might be a lion in the street and he's going to kill me. So I got to stay in. So there's a fear of the physical pain of work. There's a fear of failure. There is the fear of the emotional stress of work. Come on. Anybody relate to work being stressful? So all that fear also causes the lazy person to be lazy and not work. Those are the characteristics. All right, let's look at the characteristics of the diligent now. Characteristics of the diligent, which are the opposite of the sluggard, the diligent does take initiative. The diligent does get out of bed. The diligent person does start the action. The diligent person has here's the way I describe it. The diligent person has a bias towards action over procrastination. The sluggard has a bias towards procrastination over action. What I mean by a bias is it's a habitual way of operating, where the person who's the sluggard or the lazy person is constantly finds themselves saying, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. That is their habit. They have a bias that leans towards everything is later. The diligent person has been able to develop a new habit, which is a bias towards action over procrastination. So the diligent person recognizes, no, I need to take action. Not later, now. So they actually have developed a habit that says, nope, do it now, do it now, do it now. So they have an action over procrastination bias. Second characteristic is that they complete tasks. We already said that. The lazy person doesn't complete tasks. On the other hand, it says in Proverbs chapter 12:27 that while the sluggard catches his game but never cooks it, it says the diligent person makes use of everything he finds. That means that whatever he catches, he actually cooks it so he can make use of it. So the diligent person completes tasks, complete projects. Number 3, the diligent person is one who plans ahead. Proverbs 24:27 says this, prepare your work outside, get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after that, build your house. The New Living Translation says, do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. The diligent person is proactive. They think ahead. They don't just do whatever comes to, this happened to hit me today. I guess I got to do this task. No, they're thinking ahead. How many of you make a to-do list, right? A task list. How many of you spend a bit of time trying to plan out and think about what you do before you actually do it? So planning is a huge part of our work. We got to remember that. So, that's what diligent work is all about. And then let's wrap this up real quickly, talking about two other things about our work. We need to work with integrity and we need to work ethically. Two Proverbs here. Proverbs 16:8 says, better is a little with righteousness than great revenues with injustice. Our work is supposed to contribute something productively and protectively, not destructively. So let's wrap it all up. How should we work? We should work for the glory of God. Ultimately, this is the most important principle. We work for the glory of God. Proverbs 16:3 says, commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established. Commit your work to the Lord. That means everything we do, we have to ask ourselves, God, is this a work that can be glorifying to you? Is this a work that will be a blessing to you, glorify you, and be good for other people, contribute something good to society? If so, do it. Do it with all your might. Do it diligently, with 100% effort. If not, well, then you need something else. Commit your work to the Lord. That means that all the work you do, volunteer work, commit it to the Lord, and then your plans will be established. It means that the Lord is going to bless you as a result of that. It starts all with working for the glory of God.